Greetings, my brothers and sisters. How y'all doing today? Hope all is well. Peace and blessings be to you all. I want to make a video today, speak to you all, just on the topic of life. You know, really the ultimate goal, which is to gain a level of understanding and awareness of what's really going on. And efforts that we may be able to come to the truth. As the word says, you know, the truth will set you free. I just want to, you know, speak off the top today. And I guess I'll just start with speaking of the man and the woman. The man and the woman, you know, God created us to be one, you know, and one in His will, you know. God's will for us is life, and before even a woman was created, man was to, in a sense, uphold the ways of life. The depiction of the work that the man had to do in the garden in order to maintain the ways of life, the ways of paradise, or in order to have it, you have to maintain it, you know. And then I see that it's a continuous striving for, you know, or work for the right state, even the right state of mind as we live in this world. You know, there are many temptations, but in the garden, it was rather small, you know, but that small temptation became everything. To the weak, and the woman represents the weakness of the man. And so when you are weak, the things that make you weak can become everything. And we even see that through the man and the woman, you know. It's important not to see things, it's important not to have a mindset of weakness to evil, you know, but rather an overcoming mindset, a mindset of victory rather than a mindset of defeat, you know. And the man is supposed to embody the strength of the spirit in doing that, you know. And the woman being made weak, she rather is to rely on the strength rather than her own ways. The enemy knows her own ways and knows what her own ways will lead to. So that's why he goes after the woman in the garden. He goes after the weakness, you know. And it's a perfect balance in the makeup of the man and the woman. The man being the strength, the woman being weak, you know. The man being the head, the woman being the body, you know, because for the man, if the woman is weak, he has to understand what it really means to be strong, how it looks to be strong. The woman is giving in, you know, or is tempted. You have to be able to hold firm to your standards and your principles, and at the same time instill them. Make no way for wrongdoing. What makes a man make way for wrongdoing is rather his weakness to the woman's feelings and how she may feel, you know. But the man, even being first, is supposed to have rather the understanding of what's right. no matter how it feels. Just as we look to the Father for guidance and instruction, and we may seek to do certain things or desire that feeling, to crave that pleasure of sin, but at the end of the day, what would, if the Most High was to give us way to do that and approve of it, then there would be no structure to the order of life. And so the man is supposed to embody that image of the Father. The woman is the embodiment of, rather, the earth, which receives the word of the Father, And so in that, see that the woman has to be receptive of the words of her husband in order to embody that image of life through the man and the woman, through the masculine and the feminine. And so, to put it simple, is that our Father created us to be united, not divided. And the enemy seeks to divide. The enemy knows to attack the weakness in order to divide, So, in the unity of the man and the woman, as I said, to maintain the order of life. And what does that exactly look like? What does life look like, It's creation, In it you can see a true form of pure love. There's no one trying to hurt one another. There's no games being played, but a pure, sense of love, No ulterior motives, All that is required is a sense of genuineness and realness in the things that you do for one another. And in that you can see a lot of principles, like you will correct the one that you love if you see them doing wrong. Just like how the word says, the Father corrects those who he loves. He disciplines those who he loves, To let someone do what they will with no correction or with no, voicing of without voicing, what is right. It rather shows a sign of carelessness, And one thing about it is that we want to be rather in tune with the will of the Father. We want to be in tune with doing right to the point where we don't have to go through certain things in order to learn. Because everything can be a learning lesson in life. But, when you go through certain things, it also can come a certain detriment, So you want to just be careful. And you do that by seeking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Seeking to understand the right way of things. And so, what does the right way of things look like in this world, Well, this world is a illusion of freedom, an illusion of power. You can do, this world is like the playground of the enemy where you can do all that you desire, but the understanding is that our own desires, that's to say without a moral guidance, will only lead to our own bondage, And so the enemy plays But where everything is all right, what more is needed to be done? And so, to go back to the garden, pretty much the freedom of this world starts with a division, you know, division, chaos, where in righteousness, in paradise, there's freedom and peace, and true peace, with no conflict. Only thing you have to do is maintain with what you have, you know. War starts with evil doing, you know. The war in heaven started with the rebellion of the enemy, the fallen angel. And so even it just came to me, this just came to my mind, something I was already aware of, but just the adding up of it. Understand how even the fallen angels who rebelled in heaven, how it's that consistency. Satan deceived Eve in the garden, and the fallen angels went unto the woman. So understand that there is a connection. There is a certain level of understanding of the woman that the fallen angels know, or the enemy knows, but it's all in the form of weakness, you know. And in a sense, it's like they need the woman to be lost and naive and not hip to their tricks in order to deceive the woman. And doing that, it creates war, you know. It's a very for the angels to be ones who are to be watchers, you know. It's very dark. It's very dark, you know. And so that's what I want women to understand, that without looking at it in the sense of the image of like the angels, or the angels in like the garden, look at it in today's time, you know. It's the spirits are embodied, you know. The spirit of the serpent, you know, pretty much a man who, or you know, I could say a man who knows the weakness of the woman and seeks to take advantage of it. No man made in the image, likeness of the Most High is to walk in that way, you know, but rather to be one who seeks truly for the well-being of his helpmeet. But he has to have a sense of firmness, because at the same time the woman can be deceived. So in this world, in today's world, where we see a lot of women being pretty much, in a sense, attacked from all sides by ways of the media and the world, you know, what does a man do when that woman is rather indoctrinated? The only thing you can do is continue to seek to do right and do not accept the ways of wrongdoing. You know, seek to do the things that are, what would I say, pure. But don't seek to, what would I say, be salvation so much to the point where you defile yourself, you know. You end up getting caught up in their ways, you know, in lost ways. And I say this as someone who has found their way and understanding, you know. Um, Believe it or not, you know, the strength that you have in yourself as a man, when you display that and whatever it may be, you know, you see people can display it in evil, but we know the end of, you know, we know the end of that road is just vanity, it's death, it's darkness, it leads to nothing. But the thing about being strong and what's right is that you know of your quality and of your value, and even what you seek to give is it rather brings people up also to having a mindset of quality and value and of substance, you know. And it takes strength because, like I said, temptations and darkness is all around this world. The world is like the playground of the enemy, where he puts all of our own desires and temptations in it in order to keep us in bondage to our own selves, and in order to keep us low rather than rising above the carnal mind, you know. And so understand that even like in today's age, this whole war, like this whole gender war and things like that, it's all just really a war generated by the enemy. And it starts by way of worldly things, you know. Outside of this world, so to say, is that without the material, let's say the arguing points, it all starts in this world, you know. But what would I say, based off of physical things, material things, based off of just a carnal mindset, you know. I believe truly if we truly seek to do right by one another, you know, you'll know that person when you come across them, if their mind is aligned, you know, who doesn't want to do all of this vain back and forth, it always leads to nothing, you know. It's just an argument to have an argument, you know. But we know that at the end of the day, these things some things are because a result of, let's say, the unseen or outside forces seeking to attack us from all sides. So it's an outside entity that weakens one, and therefore as a result one has a finger to point, you know. The outside source is weakening both, but they're blaming it on one another, you know. The system of the world is not designed for us to thrive, for us to actually be united as man and woman. The first move of the enemy in the garden was to divide the man and the woman. And the woman has to be led astray. The woman has to be led into a delusionary mind, you know. And so when I think about it, for an upright man, with the strength that an upright man has is that to walk away, you know, to not put up with the things that he does not have to put up with, you know, to maintain his value, his quality, his substance, his peace, you know, and to allow any woman in that she has to be on that accord, you know. She has to be willing to change if she's not there, or she has to be there, you know. And the will to change, that's for everybody on this earth. As we look up to the Most High, the will to change is, you know, it's the big question for everyone. When we learn these things, when we learn of the truth, the question comes, the will to change. And what has to be understood is that it is possible. The world is designed to make you feel like it's not possible, but it's possible. necessary change is possible. And that necessary change is something that's within the mind. As long as the world has your mind, then it has you pretty much. So you have to be able to be free. The truth is like the key. The truth is like the key that opens, that opens the door for you to walk out of bondage. But also, your comfort in that cage can, what would I say, cause you to fear to even walk free. So it's a key and it opens the door. But the question is your willpower. Are you willing to walk? Are you willing to step forward? Are you willing to find yourself outside of bondage? And when we are not used or accustomed to certain things, we can be afraid to step forward and step into something new. But the remedy to that is understanding that when you understand that this is bondage, understand that truth opens the door to true freedom, to reality. A reality where you can understand, where you can look at the past version of yourself, a lower version of yourself, and see that you've learned. See, when you're at the low version of yourself, you can't even envision your free self, because being in bondage, you don't know anything but bondage. And we start. Understand that we start at that. We start in this world, we start in bondage. The goal is to surpass the low state of this world. And so that is what embodies the understanding of learning from our old ways, learning from our carnal ways. When we move, the true movement is freedom. The next stage is, freedom. And so, as the word says, we have to be, though we're in this world, we're not of this world. And Christ calls us to come out of this world spiritually. Also, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So it has to be within you. And when the temporary passes, where will the eternal go? To eternal darkness or eternal light? So as man and woman, understand the ultimate focus. The ultimate focus is life. To seek and find life. And if you don't look around in this world and seek to see the problems of this world and see that the world is the problem, and also that the problem is also within us, as long as we are ignorant to the devices of the enemy, as long as we're ignorant to the truth, it starts with self-change. It starts with seeking to be better within yourself, and then you can be an example, in this world. Someone who gives life, And even between the man and the woman, the natural, what would I say, and then the man actually being dominant and the woman being submissive, in between each other, they both are in dominion and light against evil. So, let's say this. For the man and the woman to be for the man to be dominant in the light, and the woman to be submissive in the light, they both are united in the light. For the woman to be what would I say, or dominant. Okay, so for the man to be dominant in what's right and the woman to be submissive to the things that are right, they both are united in the light, you know. Now, the way of the enemy is that the woman is dominant in the things of darkness and the man is submissive in the things to the things of darkness, you know. So the woman is dominant in the things of darkness and the man is submissive to the things of darkness, you know. For the light is that the man is dominant in the things of light and the woman is submissive to the things of light, you know. What I'm displaying is rather who leads and who follows. But understand that to lead and to follow is a natural structure. It's a structure. But it depends on what you use it for. We know that people can lead in darkness and people can be led astray. We know that people can lead in light and people can be led to life. So what I'm saying is that the natural way even of the Father is that the man leads as he was made first in the order of the Father. The man leads and the woman follows his lead. And that we see as it was in the beginning, you know, as the earth was without form and void. Think of it like this. The earth was without form and void. When the Most High created the woman out of the man, she has no understanding. She's just there, you know. He has to be able to instruct her, guide her, tell her of the things also of the Most High that he has learned. It shows what is within him, is the spirit of the Most High within him, you know. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the earth. He said, "Let there be light." It's the same. That same order is how it is supposed to be between the man and the woman, you know. But think of it like this: where there is an upright man, how can the woman lead him? His natural role is to lead. So any woman that seeks to lead him would be only seeking, that mindset will come from a desire of power. But when they have the perfect structure of power, the enemy knows that desire for power, like he said, to be as God, knowing good and evil, knowing good and evil. Evil has to be added unto that woman to have a sense of power, to know how it feels to be a so-called God. She has to have evil added unto her, you know, her knowledge. And to have that power, she has to put the man down in order to be above the man, because an upright man in the eyes of God, doing the will of God, can do no wrong. So that's where it becomes a game mindset, where in order to test out her power over him, she has to put him down, stoop him low, make him do something wrong. And so she sees that in between God and her, you know, she can create confusion in his mind to do the will of God or to do what she desires. And so she seeks to become a God. But there is no light at the end of that tunnel. And so for a man, you have to understand that your relationship with the Most High is first and foremost, and is key and important to your masculine frame and your strength as a man. We are to embody the strength of the Spirit. The strength of the Spirit, which brings that structure. So I don't know when the camera cut off, but what I was just talking about is for the man and the woman, the design of the Most High for an upright man is that he does the will of the Father. The moment that a woman desires power, more power than she's given in their makeup. That is rather her own will and the will of the enemy, and what the enemy knows that she could desire. Because an upright man can do no wrong if he's actually walking in that way, is what I'm saying. And so for a woman to desire power above that man is really pretty much her seeking to step out of her role and take him out of his role. Take him out of his natural role and step out of her natural role. It's not natural for, if there's an upright man and a woman, that the woman be the head over him. And so I'm saying this because the world, if you look at the world today, the world is built off of that, off of the fall of mankind, off of the woman seeking to defy the man and, you know, get the man to do wrong. But it's no light at the end of that tunnel, you know. It's only an illusion of power. It's anything from the enemy, it's only an illusion, you know. Because the wants of a woman can destroy what she needs. A woman can want a man to be weak in order for her to be strong. But a time will come where she realizes she needs a strong man. But if the man that you brought low is not strong, now you have a hate for that man. And this is a cycle that we see. That's why it's important, like I said, that a man understands that first and foremost, what matters first to him is his relationship with God, his relationship with the Most High. Because a woman can't teach you how to be strong. You have to know, and you have to already be strong. And you have to be able to pretty much correct her ways if she seeks to defy that. You know, a man has to have that sense of strength, and it's instilled by pretty much understanding the ways of the Father, you know. And in that, even I say, envision the ways of the Father, how the Father would be, you know. Nothing can get above him. So in between the makeup of the man and the woman, a man that seeks to be upright, so to say, because it's not just something that's given to you just because you're a man. It's potential. But you have the potential to do right and the potential to do wrong, you know. And so you can't look to the woman in order to tell you how to be a man. You have to look to the Most High for that. And looking to the Most High, it's a certain perspective where you can see rather everything, even what's after you, how they operate, how they should operate, you know, how they should be rather for you. You know, if they seek to be, you know. It ties in with how a leader is supposed to be able to discern and to see certain things, possible threats, and, you know, also to acknowledge, you know, well doing, you know. Yeah, you know. And so in that, you know, I say a man's mind, a man's mental focus is supposed to be life. Finding the ways of life as we are in this world. Finding the ways of life and producing fruit, you know. A woman that seeks to throw you off that path, get out my way, you know. And I say specifically a woman who seeks to throw you off that path, you know, one who knowingly is trying to work against, you know, the spirit of the Most High that is within you. But where there is a woman that is lost or needs help, like I said, what it comes down to is a will to receive. For a woman, that's for a will to receive, you know, a will to receive and a will to reject the things of evil, a will to receive the things of the Most High and a will to reject the things of evil. Think of it like this, you know, as we know, there can be an upright man and there can be I just said a man who does not seek to do right by a woman. How does a man know a woman's loyalty? Is in who she chooses, what she submits to. And what she submits to, she receives, you know. What is she willing to receive? Is she caught up by vain words, sweet nothings, somebody telling her what she wants to hear? Or a genuine care, a desire for her to truly experience what you would, not what the world would see as love, but from the Most High. A true example of love, to bring you up, to give you a perspective, insight of this world, but also insight of God's desire for life. For us, is to understand it, you have to really seek to receive it. You have to truly desire it. To desire life, you have to be tired of the ways of this world. A woman has to despise the ways of those that manner of a man who seeks to tell her sweet nothings, who seeks to deceive her, who seeks to speak sweet words, you know, tell her all she can be, all in the efforts to deceive her. That is the embodiment of the spirit of the enemy, you know. Now, where there is a true desire and attraction, what matters is, you know, what are you creating in that woman? What are you creating in that woman's mind? So understand even the importance of not overdoing things, overdoing it with women. It's not to pedestalize a woman. Be truthful, be real, you know. Be real, don't overdo it. You know what I mean? But also, for you to desire that somebody has life, you have to, that desire even has to be shown, but not forced, but in a willing way. I would give life if you desire it, you know. Will you receive it? And that, in the midst of that, is an essence of a certain rawness and realness that some may be afraid of. But like I said, it's due to a comfort of being in bondage, due to being used to a certain way of man, to the point where it all seems so strange for somebody to genuinely care or genuinely show love. That doesn't mean you change as a man, you know. You have to have the understanding. You have to have a level of understanding that can even decipher that, you know. And then that also, not to take things so personal, but the moment somebody tries to rather play games, you know, or rather have a respect for somebody who can admit that, you know, be real in admitting, you know, a why something, rather than playing games and seeking to have, you know, both things while, you know, seeking to deceive. Because that then is like a woman taking on the ways of the enemy to play that deceptive game in order to, you know, deceive an upright man, you know, to play with the love that is being given. And I would say, you know, look, on this journey, we all have struggles and we all have ways in which we fall, but truly seek to get back up. Acknowledge your ways in which you or I can kind of take for granted the things that the Most High gives us, the love, the care, the genuineness, you know, that sincerity, you know. And yeah, man, I pray I be blessed in the name of the only begotten Son. All praise be our Father, I'll be out. Amen.